Wesley Snipes found not guilty of federal tax fraud and conspiracy charges, but he was convicted on 3 misdemeanor counts of failing to file a tax return. He could still be sentenced to 3 years in prison after originally facing a possible 16.
Right now, we've been working together this week, the program with Peace Earth and Hope North, about peace builders and community builders. Tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah, I'm called Octavia Spencer. I come from Gulu, but partially I'm in Hope North. So I live with my mom.
And be very critical of it, right? But we also don't know what their calling has done as far as like them and their own spiritual development and the people that they may have impacted, right? And so I think it's about you taking the information that you know to be true. For us, you know, that's Ahmadiyya, and so within that, there's ranks.
Why do some Hollywood actors with lots of money choose to live like they're poor? What makes these famous black actors prefer a simple lifestyle, even though they could afford so much more? Do they just like keeping things low-key or something more? From Terry Crews, who's learned to be smart with his money because of how he grew up without any.
You want to make money, the key to making money is serving the most amount of people. The more people you serve, the more money you make. Straight up.
To Morgan Freeman, who takes care of bees.
I heard that you're a beekeeper. You keep bees?
Yes.
Is that, how long have you done that?
I just got them 2 weeks ago.
To Samuel L. Jackson, helping with cleaning at the MLK Museum.
Samuel L. Jackson took time from his busy Hollywood career to roll up his sleeves and help more than 100 volunteers honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the 40th anniversary of his assassination.
Let's explore how 20 successful black actors live humble lives despite their fame and fortune.
It's a long story.
Well, I like stories. I'm considered a bit of a storyteller myself.
Even with all the fame and fortune, Morgan's all about that quiet, grounded life. He's super into spending time at his ranch, working with the bees, and doing his thing for the environment. It's clear that for Freeman, making a positive impact means more than just being in the spotlight.
You know you've arrived when people start doing impressions of your voice, and people recognize which impression they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I'm here.
He is all about keeping things low-key on his 124-acre ranch in Charleston, Mississippi. He actually bought the place from his parents back in '91 and has turned it into his chill spot far away from the Hollywood chaos.
I heard that you're a beekeeper. You keep bees?
Yes.
Is that, how long have you done that?
I just got them 2 weeks ago.
Freeman's also got a serious passion for the environment, especially when it comes to saving the bees. In 2014, he decided to give back to nature by bringing in 26 beehives to help with the whole honeybee crisis. He didn't stop there, though. He planted lavender and magnolia trees to make sure his buzzing friends had the perfect home. It's his way of doing his part for the planet. Next up is Mahershala Ali.
At some point, you gotta decide for yourself who you're gonna be.
Mahershala Ali's story is all about staying true to who you are, balancing faith, family, and work with a sense of purpose. Born in Oakland, California as Mahershalalhashbaz Gilmore, he switched things up in 2000 by converting to Islam, specifically the Ahmadiyya branch. His conversion wasn't just for show, it was a personal deep dive into finding spiritual meaning and structure.
Definitely some responsibility to speak to things. And especially you add, for me, the added layer of being a Muslim. It adds on definitely a responsibility.
His beliefs seriously guide his life choices. He's all about peace and purpose over flashy things, even turning down roles that don't fit with his values. Case in point, he once said no to doing a love scene in a movie because it went against his faith.
And be very critical of it, right? But we also don't know what their calling has done as far as like them and their own spiritual development and the people that they may have impacted, right? And so I think it's about you taking the information that you know to be true. For us, you know, that's Ahmadiyya, and so within that, there's ranks.
When it comes to family, Ali's all in. He's married to Amatou Sami Karim, who's an actress and musician, and they have a daughter, Bari Najma. For Ali, success isn't about fame or stacking up cash. It's about being able to support his family while staying true to himself. Next is talented Janelle Monae. But But Janelle's not just dominating music. She's also making big moves in the film world with major roles in Hidden Figures and Moonlight. And even with all that success, she keeps things real, focusing on her art over the flashy lifestyle. She's really thoughtful about what she takes on, making sure everything aligns with what she stands for. Growing up in a working-class family in Kansas, her journey to the spotlight is all about her deep dive into identity, both racial and sexual. Her sound? It's this super unique mix of funk, soul, and hip-hop, and her songs are packed with powerful messages about social justice and making the world better. Albums like Dirty Computer don't just serve catchy beats, they're pushing boundaries, challenging norms, and demanding more acceptance and equality.
I think that I was non-binary a long time ago. I just did not have the language for it. I was living in my own binary of what, at that time, what I felt like masculine, androgynous energy looks like.
And let's not forget about her activism. Whether it's standing up for better gun control, backing AIDS research, or supporting autism charities, Janelle uses her platform to actually make a difference. Next is Forest Whitaker.
I'm gonna be cheap. I will be cheap. I will be mad.
Forest Whitaker isn't just known for his killer acting skills. He's also out here changing the world with some major humanitarian work. Besides crushing it in Hollywood, Whitaker founded the Whitaker Peace and Development Initiative, WPDI, back in 2012, which is all about promoting peace and helping out young people in conflict zones.
Right now, we've been working together this week, the program with Peace Earth and Hope North, about peace builders and community builders. Tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah, I'm called Octavia Spencer. I come from Gulu, but partially I'm in Hope North. So I live with my mom.
WPDI is doing its thing in countries like South Sudan, Uganda, South Africa, Mexico, and even the US. The organization gives young men and women the tools they need to be leaders and peacemakers, offering education and economic opportunities. One of their standout programs is the Youth Peacemaker Network, which connects young peace builders across the globe.
It is your country. You have sacrificed together and fought together to achieve your independence. I have witnessed common sentiments of friendship and trust, spending time with 22 Zhongli youths for nearly every tribe in the state.
Whitaker's all about using his platform for good, focusing more on making the world a better place than living the flashy life. As a UNESCO Special Envoy for Peace and Reconciliation, he's constantly involved in global peace efforts, showing that he's walking the talk. Alicia Keys is next. Alicia Keys, the multi-Grammy-winning icon, is all about keeping life grounded. Sure, she's got the fame, the awards, and a killer music career, but she's way more into focusing on family and giving back than flaunting luxury. She's married to super producer Swizz Beatz, and they've got a beautiful blended family with their 2 kids, Egypt and Genesis, plus 3 stepkids from Swizz's previous relationships. Alicia's always sharing adorable family moments on social media, showing how much she cherishes her time with them.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
AD, how are you? I'm Mrs. Dean.
Mr. Dean right here.
And we want to invite you into our home. Come.
Coming to the Zaza.
When she's not making music, Alicia's all about her philanthropic work. She co-founded Keep a Child Alive, a nonprofit that helps families dealing with HIV and AIDS in Africa. And she's no stranger to performing at benefit concerts or standing up for women's rights and gender equality.
Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys set new precedents for excellence. Their contributions are paramount, that you two are an undeniable force in the industry. I like the sound of that.
Basically, Alicia's using her platform to make real change in the world, and that's what makes her even more iconic. It's not just about the music for her, it's about leaving a lasting impact.
If you can't tell me where I'm going, I'm not moving.
Next is Michael B. Jordan. For Michael B. Jordan, real success isn't about stacking up money, it's about making a difference. His work in social justice and his efforts to uplift others show he's committed to using his platform to do some real good in the world. Michael's all about staying grounded and using his fame for a bigger purpose. Even though he starred in massive hits like Creed and Black Panther, he's not caught up in the glitz and glam. Instead, he focuses on projects that really mean something to him rather than chasing after material things.
Being Uncle Mike, man, it's a feeling of like with my nephew and my niece that I've never loved something so much. It like is the best part of that right now.
He's playing the long game with his career, picking roles and creating content that aim to inspire and spark real change. It's clear that for him, making a lasting impact is way more important than quick fame or a fat paycheck. And Jordan's not just talking the talk, he's super involved in philanthropy, especially when it comes to fighting for racial equality.
The Oscar goes to I Love My Life, Denzel Washington.
This is the 5th Academy Award nomination for Denzel Washington and his 2nd Oscar.
Next up, Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is proof that you can crush it in Hollywood while staying true to your roots. Even with all the fame, Denzel keeps things humble and focused on what really matters: his faith, family, and community. He's a devout Christian, part of the Church of God in Christ, and his beliefs shape everything he does, from his work to how he lives his life.
I'm solution-based, not problem-stuck.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, what are we gonna do about it?
Agreed.
You know, and I stay in my lane.
He's been married to his wife, Pauletta, for over 40 years. Talk about relationship goals. And they've got 4 kids together. Family is huge for Denzel, and he's always talking about how important it is to keep a strong family foundation and raise kids with solid values. For Denzel, real success isn't about money or being famous. It's about how you can lift others up. He uses his platform to push for social justice and encourages people to chase their dreams without losing sight of who they are. His focus on mentorship and giving back shows that, for him, making a positive impact is the ultimate win.
When you were going through what you were going through, I just didn't know how to handle it.
Moving on, Issa Rae is next. For Issa, it's not about the money, it's about making a mark that lasts. She's passionate about creating opportunities and making sure her work opens doors for others, especially when it comes to diversity and representation in the entertainment world. Issa Rae's rise to fame is all about keeping it real, building community, and making moves with purpose. She's the mastermind behind Insecure, but even with all her Hollywood success, she stayed true to who she is and what she stands for.
I don't know that I've seen other successful celebrity entrepreneurs completely center Black women. There always is the desire to go mainstream, and I'm not necessarily saying that's not a desire, but for me, that's where it starts and ends.
Her journey kicked off with her web series, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, where she created, starred in, and won over tons of fans with her super relatable, hilarious take on life as a young Black woman. That show's success led her straight to Insecure, where she really blew up and became a total game changer in Hollywood. Next is Donald Glover.
What happened to your voice?
What do you mean, what happened to my voice?
I heard you by the bridge. I know what a girl sound like.
I'm not a girl.
Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, is basically the definition of a multi-talented star. He's killing it in acting, writing, directing, and music, making him one of the most influential people in entertainment right now. His big break came with playing Troy Barnes on Community, but he really blew up with Atlanta, the show he created, wrote, directed, and starred in. It's racked up major awards like Golden Globes and Emmys, and for good reason. And let's not forget his music career. This Is America wasn't just a hit, it shook up culture in a huge way.
Police be tripping now? Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area.
Even with all that success, Glover's not the flashy type. He's more about creative control than cash, always going for projects that fit his artistic style rather than chasing the biggest paychecks. Glover stays far away from the typical celeb lifestyle. Forget the luxury cars and massive mansions. He's all about focusing on creating art that actually matters. His whole approach? Making something that lasts longer than any quick fame or fortune. Terry Crews is next.
You ever put your hands on my son again, you ain't going to jail. I'm going to jail.
What you gonna do?
Terry Crews' climb to the top wasn't just about talent. It was all about learning how to handle money. Before he became the big-time actor we all know, he was seriously struggling. He's been super open about how he and his family used to live paycheck to paycheck, which taught him a huge lesson about saving and budgeting.
You want to make money, the key to making money is serving the most amount of people. The more people you serve, the more money you make. Straight up.
Even now, with all the fame and success, Terry keeps things chill when it comes to money. He's not out here blowing cash on flashy Hollywood stuff. Instead, he's all about staying smart with his finances and making sure his family is set for the long run. For him, money isn't just a way to flex, it's a way to stay secure and grounded. Terry's story is proof that making money is one thing, but knowing how to manage it is what really matters. He's all about financial discipline, and the fact that he's willing to share what he's learned makes his journey super relatable for anyone looking to get their money game together.
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English, mother...
Next is Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson's whole outlook on life? Keep things real. No need to show off. He believes in being smart with money and making sure it doesn't define who you are. It's all about keeping it meaningful and staying true to his craft. Growing up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, he caught the acting bug in high school and followed it all the way to Morehouse College in Atlanta. And it wasn't just about the stage. He was deep in the civil rights movement too, proving his dedication to bigger causes from the start.
Samuel L. Jackson took time from his busy Hollywood career to roll up his sleeves and help more than 100 volunteers honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the 40th anniversary of his assassination.
Even with all the blockbuster films under his belt, Jackson keeps it low-key. He's not about that flashy celeb life. Instead, he values privacy and staying grounded. He's been married to LaTanya Richardson since 1980, and for him, family comes first. He doesn't let Hollywood interfere with that. When it comes to his career, it's not about chasing paychecks for Jackson. He's all about roles that challenge him and let him tell stories that matter. That's why he's one of the most respected names in the game.
That's that hole, that's my bottom half. Every time I hear this music, it just want to drop. That's the hole from back in the day.
Tyler Perry is next. Growing up in New Orleans, he had it tough, dealing with poverty, abuse, and even homelessness at one point. But those hard times gave him a real perspective on money and success and taught him to stay humble and help others whenever he could.
I'll tell you this one moment that was really hard for me. I had to discipline him. He was really rude to the nanny and was in the room with in the bathroom arguing, and Galila calls me and I go in and I get down to his level. I'm talking to him eye to eye. I'm like, listen, what are you doing? We don't behave this way. You don't do this. This is unacceptable. You're not going to disrespect her. You're not going to disrespect your mom. You're going to do what they say to do. And do you understand? And he's just crying and crying. Yes, Papa. Yes, Papa.
Even though Perry is now one of the richest filmmakers in Hollywood, he's not about living it up in luxury. For him, it's always been more about the art and the messages he can share through his work. His films focus a lot on faith, family, and pushing through tough times, which is why so many people connect with his stories. Perry's generosity is next level. Through the Perry Foundation, he's all about helping disadvantaged communities rise up. The foundation tackles everything from health and education to arts and economic development. And on a personal note, he once dropped $1 million to the NAACP as a nod to their 100th anniversary. His humble beginnings keep him grounded, knowing that wealth isn't guaranteed. For Perry, it's not just about success. He's using it to actually make a difference.
You guys plenty more to be grateful for than me. And look, now I ain't messing around no more.
Next up, Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer's rise to the top proves that hard work and staying real will take you far. Coming from Montgomery, Alabama, she's never forgotten her roots, and it shows in how she lives. Rather than getting caught up in Hollywood's flash, she's all about keeping things low-key, spending time with her close circle of friends and family. Spencer isn't chasing fame or fat paychecks. She's all about passion projects that actually mean something. That dedication has paid off, with her snagging an Oscar for her role in The Help. But it's not just about acting for her. She's also big on giving back.
Times have changed. We can't put a cap on talent, and we certainly can't put a cap on projects that move people. I think it's important for children to have role models that they can see every day, meaning mom, meaning dad, people within their community.
Octavia's got a major heart for helping out. She's heavily involved in charity work, focusing on uplifting underrepresented communities and pushing for more diversity in entertainment. She's all about making sure others get opportunities, not just herself.
All due respect, sir, you don't need an anger translator. You need counseling.
Next up, Keegan-Michael Keys' success story isn't about living large or flaunting it. He's all about keeping it humble and staying focused on what really matters. Even with his comedy and acting taking off, he's more into giving back than splurging on luxury. You won't catch him flashing expensive cars or living in mega mansions. Instead, he's invested in charity work and causes that speak to him.
There should definitely be a bifurcation, that there are a small amount of people that are actors out there who are acting in what I think is not the most helpful way. And they should definitely be separated from the people who are letting their voices be heard and empowering themselves in a truly American way.
Key's not into the whole Hollywood party scene either. He keeps it simple, valuing genuine relationships over flashy things. For him, staying grounded is key, no pun intended, because he knows that success can come and go. It's all about making a real impact, not chasing cash or fame.
Americans generally respect one another's beliefs, even if they don't share those beliefs. I know I do.
Next up, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is the ultimate example of putting mental health over money and fame. Back when his hit show, Chappelle's Show, was at its peak, he straight up walked away from a $50 million deal. Why? The pressure was insane, and he realized the work environment was getting toxic. So instead of burning out, he hit pause and took a step back. After leaving Hollywood, Chappelle didn't just lay low. He moved to Yellow Springs, Ohio, a tiny town with a chill, artsy vibe. It's a place where he could live a low-key life with his family, away from all the Hollywood craziness. And honestly, a lot of the locals probably don't even realize how rich he is because he's so down to earth.
Everything changed after I had children. I took my professional life more seriously. And then I think just as a dude, I had more depth after I had kids.
Chappelle's all about community and keeping things real. He stays involved in local events and supports causes he cares about, proving that for him, success isn't about fancy stuff. It's about feeling fulfilled and connecting with real people. His comedy hits hard with its social commentary, and you can tell it's coming straight from his life experiences, which is why people respect him so much. He's out here staying true to himself and his values, even after stepping away from the big-time spotlight. Total legend.
I can say yes sir to whoever I please. What you got to do with it? I know how to handle white folks.
Next up, Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman's story is pure class, wrapped in humility and purpose. While the world knew him as Black Panther, those close to him knew there was so much more to his story. Even with all the fame, Chadwick kept things super low-key. He wasn't about the flashy Hollywood life. He focused on his work and lifting up his community. He put a ton of effort into educational programs and empowerment projects, especially for the Black community, making sure others had the tools to rise up. His iconic roles like Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, and James Brown weren't just about acting. They were about honoring real legends and telling their stories with heart.
Yeah, it means a lot.
When it came to his personal life, Chadwick kept it simple. Family, friends, and work that mattered. He was all about staying grounded and being true to who he was, no matter how famous he got. And even while quietly fighting colon cancer for 4 years, he kept going like a champ, choosing not to make a fuss about it. His mom had always taught him not to let people worry about him, and that's exactly what he did, filming heavy projects like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom without anyone knowing the battle he was fighting. Next is Lupita Nyong.
And the girl.
Lupita Nyong'o's rise to stardom is all about talent, grace, and keeping it real. After snagging that Academy Award for 12 Years a Slave, she became a total icon. But even though she's become a Hollywood favorite, Lupita has stayed humble and true to who she is.
On the cover of magazines, a dark-skinned Sudanese woman being praised for her beauty. That was the first time I'd seen anything like that. And so it kind of like shook everything I understood about being dark-skinned. It questioned it. And so it was like the opening to like, wait a minute. This thing called beautiful, it could apply to me too.
She's always killing it on the red carpet, making headlines for her flawless fashion moments. But behind the glitz, she's not about that flashy, materialistic lifestyle. Lupita keeps things low-key, focusing on what really matters, like meaningful work and staying grounded. She's also big on using her platform to push for more diversity and representation in the entertainment world. Lupita is all about telling stories that connect with people from all walks of life. Plus, she's super involved in giving back, supporting causes that uplift marginalized communities and make a real difference. Lupita's story shows that true success isn't about stacking up cash or collecting awards. It's about staying authentic and using your voice to make a positive impact. She's a constant inspiration, proving that you can be both wildly successful and true to your roots.
You killed 2 innocent women, and you still think you get to complain?
Next, Viola Davis. Viola Davis's journey from a tough childhood to Hollywood A-lister is all about grit, staying humble, and giving back. Growing up in South Carolina and Rhode Island, Viola didn't just face poverty, she dealt with serious struggles like hunger and living in rundown apartments. Those tough times shaped who she is today and the choices she makes. Even with all her success, she's all about keeping things real. Viola's married to fellow actor Julius Tenen, and they're raising their adopted daughter, Genesis. Family is everything to her, and she's made it clear that they're her rock.
That day-to-day living, actually Michelle Obama quote. You know, she says, if you've been married for 50 years and 10 of those years were bad, you have a good marriage.
Yes, exactly.
She's also super dedicated to making a difference, especially when it comes to kids growing up in poverty. Viola's been heavily involved in campaigns to end childhood hunger, like the Hunger Is campaign, and she's always supporting educational programs and initiatives that empower the Black community. For her, success is about lifting others up, not just racking up awards. One thing fans love about Viola is her honesty. She doesn't shy away from talking about her past struggles, hoping her story inspires people to keep pushing forward. Plus, with her production company, Juvie Productions, she's fighting to give more underrepresented voices a shot in Hollywood.
Whatever happened to, am I my brother's keeper, huh? You know what happened to it.
Next is Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes' journey is all about bouncing back, learning from mistakes, and leveling up. Back in the day, Snipes was killing it with hits like Blade and White Men Can't Jump. But things took a nosedive when he got into major trouble over tax issues, landing him in prison.
Wesley Snipes found not guilty of federal tax fraud and conspiracy charges, but he was convicted on 3 misdemeanor counts of failing to file a tax return. He could still be sentenced to 3 years in prison after originally facing a possible 16.
That rough patch shook him up big time, forcing Wesley to rethink everything. Since then, he's totally switched gears, living a more low-key life and making sure he's smart with his money. He's also way more careful with the roles he picks now, only saying yes to projects that really fit where he's at in life. His story is proof that setbacks don't have to be the end. They can actually push you to grow and come back stronger. Wesley's focus on being financially smart and choosing roles that align with his goals is an inspo for anyone who's looking to turn things around and make better choices.
$4 million! Say yes. Say yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And lastly, we have Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg, born Karen Elaine Johnson in NYC back in 1955, is a Hollywood legend, comedian, and TV star. But despite all the fame, she's not about that flashy life. She's all about keeping it simple and doing work that really matters.
You know, whether it's towards women or gay folks or, you know, Native Americans, Asian folks, all of us, you know, America's like, it's the promise of the melting pot.
Whoopi's also a hardcore activist, standing up for causes like LGBTQ+ rights, homelessness, and kids issues. She's not into stacking up wealth for the sake of it. Instead, she's focused on using what she's got to help others. She's been repping as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador since 2003, proving she's all about giving back. Even after all these years in the spotlight, Whoopi's super down to earth. She prefers chilling with her fam over glammed-up events and is still grinding, not for the fame, but because she genuinely wants to leave the world a better place.